All right, what's going on, boys? Welcome to a trade recap. First one of the year, and man, does it feel fucking good to be back. We did take a small loss today, but guys, I'm now trading anywhere from between a 2-to-1 and a 3-to-1 RR, and I'm going to show you guys the back testing results that I had testing this strategy that I'm now using. I'm going to go over it a little bit as well. But with that being said, let's just jump straight the fuck into it. Not even mad that I took this L today. It was a great setup. Would have taken it 10 out of 10 times, and that's what matters. I'm not streaming trading anymore, or streaming on Discord or like YouTube or anything like that, just because I trade the best when I'm just at like in silence, talking to myself, talking to myself through what I'm seeing on the charts at any given time. Also, I did move around my setup. I'm officially fully moved into my new apartment. Still got some shit laying around in the background, as you can see here, but got a bunch more furniture coming. This is my office space, and I'm planning on fully decking out this room. It feels really good to be here in this new apartment. Got my own place. I'm just living here alone, and it's super fire. And I just want to say first, before we hop right into it, I appreciate everyone that gave me so much support on my last video. And, it kind of reminded me to not give up and to keep fucking going, right? Last year was one of the hardest years of my life mentally. My trading struggled greatly because of it. Last year, and about the middle of the year for a few months, I was taking consistent payouts and things like that, and I was really thought that I had it all figured out and that I was going to begin, my life snowball financial wise. And that's when everything kind of shit the bed and a lot of other stuff happened in my life. But that's besides the point, and we're back now with a new strategy that I've been testing like crazy. I was up super late last night testing this. All day yesterday I was testing it. Day before that I was testing it. I live tested it on Monday. Everything like that. So I'm going to go over it briefly in this video as well. So let's just jump straight into it, guys. So first thing I do, I'm going to hop on the 15-minute time frame here. Let me just get rid of all of this real quick, just so we can mark it out together. Now, I will say one thing that was a little unfortunate today was that we were at all-time highs. Anytime we're at all-time highs, it's a little sketchy to trade in general, just because, well, in my case, I was playing to the upside after breaking out of all-time highs, and it's just risky because you don't really have any levels to play off of following that. So we're still kind of scalping, guys. These trades usually are going to be lasting less than 30 minutes, which I would still consider to be scalping. But the first thing I'm going to do is mark out the 8 a.m. candle from 8 to 8:15 on the 15-minute time frame. On ES, by the way, guys, this is on ES, so we're not trading NQ anymore. This is on ES. I tested this on NQ and ES, and it worked significantly better for whatever reason on ES. But guys, pretty much the main concept of this strategy is, one, it's an opening range breakout strategy if that setup appears, but we're also going to be playing off of liquid areas of liquidity, and we're going to be marking out significant liquidity draws every single day. So that's the first level I mark out. Anything else I mark out is going to be an untested Asia high or London low. Excuse me. And the indicator that I have for this, to make it a lot easier, obviously you can do this yourself, but you have an indicator for it. It makes it a lot easier. It's called ICT kill zones and pivots. And then I only have Asia and London checked off. And I have all of these ones unchecked just because I don't use those ones, right? So before market opens, I make sure to have that 8 a.m. candle marked out. And I also will, oh shit, excuse me. I also have that Asia high marked out, which is right there. It doesn't matter where you kind of put, this. You could put it here at the bottom of the candle, which is what I did. Or usually how I've always drawn my zones is I put it from the top of the wick at the high. So that's the Asia high right there. And then I put it to the bottom of the body before the move. So the significant move started on this candle right here. So I mark it out to there. This is all in the 15-minute time frame, by the way, pre-market. And then we also had this London low right here, which did get taken out. So we're not going to mark that out. But this area right here was a significant level for me. So I marked it out just like that. And then I'm going to zoom out even more. Sorry, let me get rid of all this because these are just drawings that I had from when I was testing. And I'm going to mark out other significant draws on liquidity, right? Now we mark out the draws on liquidity because they're going to help us with our TPs as well as our entries sometimes. So I saw we had one there. We also had this untested London low still from yesterday, which hasn't been tested either. So we're going to mark that out. Now we're going to drop onto the 1 minute time frame. We're going to wait for 9:30. Now there's two different kinds of setups you can get. One is the opening range breakout strategy, which I learned from RP Profits. I fell down the rabbit hole of his strategy after his video started coming up on my For You page like crazy. If you want to learn more about that, that's not the setup that I got today, so I'm not going to be explaining that setup, but I would go over to his YouTube channel. I don't know the guy at all or anything like that, but I think his content is super educational, and his opening range breakout strategy, which is that 15-minute, that ADM 15-minute candle that we marked out, it seems to be really good. And when I was testing it alongside this strategy, it also worked very well. So I'm not going to be going into super depth about that in this video, but I'm going to show you guys the setup that we took today. So pretty much the first thing that I see when we come into market open is that we want to break to the downside here, as well as, as soon as market open, we came up and swept that high, which was all-time highs. So I was looking for either shorts, but I wasn't looking for shorts unless we were able to break and hold below this zone to play down to here. Or I was looking for us to break and hold above all-time highs, and you guys are pretty much going to see that that's what ended up happening here. So we ended up retesting this zone, rejecting out of it a little bit, but right here, I wanted to actually see us go ahead and, all-time highs is actually right there. So, sorry, let me correct myself. We swept Asia high right there and then dumped out of it. But since all-time highs was so close, sorry, I actually lied again. Sorry, guys, I was up pretty late last night testing this, but I had the zone drawn out like that. Anyway, okay, that's more like it. So coming in open, we swept Asia high and then dumped. But since I was like, okay, these two levels right here are only 3 points above that one. So I want to see all-time highs as well as this level get taken out first before possibly thinking about shorts. Just because I'm like, okay, those levels are so close. Let's see if we can get those taken out first before we take a short setup. So I kind of sat out for a little bit. We ended up retesting this zone. A little bit of rejection. No short, though, because I wanted to see these levels get swept. This one gets swept right there. Perfect. Now I just want to see us come. Okay, boom. Next candle, all-time highs get swept right there. Now, I'm either looking for one of two things now after all the levels to the upside that I wanted to get swept were. Number one is a break of structure to the downside to take shorts. A break of structure is simply a close below the most recent low. The most recent low is right there, okay? But if a new one forms, that will be validated as the most recent low. So I'm like, okay, boom. This is nice. We lost a lot of that upside momentum. Right here, I was really looking for shorts, but I wanted to see a break of structure, which would have been a closure below the bottom of that wick right there, which we did not end up getting. Spoiler alert. Now, I'm seeing that we are starting to show a little bit of bullish momentum. I'm like, okay, if I want to take a long in this area, I'm going to need to see a close above, a retest, and then confirmation, upside confirmation. We end up getting the closure above right there. Yes, it was a little top wicky, but it's a closure above nonetheless. Now I want to see us retest the zone. We retest the zone there and rip up out of it again with a little bit of a top wick. Didn't want to take my entry there, though, because I like to have a 5-point stop loss. I just kind of wanted to see a little bit of a bigger pullback here. If it ran, then whatever. We end up taking our entry right here. So we break above right here, retest. We already got that pump that, so we got, sorry. Let me slow down. We closed above, we retested here, we popped back up. All right, so that was already a little bit of confirmation. We retested again, and this candle right here was my entry. That's a very bullish candle after retesting following the close above. So I took my entry here. Now, guys, my TPs and SLs are, well, my SL is always 5 points. It can get up to 6 if need be, but I won't put it past anything 6. And I always like it to like my stop loss to be below the zone that I'm trading in. And it also was slightly below this level right here, which made it even better. Now, guys, normally what I'll do is I'll put my TP at an opposing spot of liquidity. Now, since we are at all-time highs, it was kind of fucked because there's literally nowhere to put it. So I just put it at a 2-to-1, and was just kind of hoping for the best. I knew I was trading up into no man's land, and I did think that we might have been able to see it. I do think that this was just an unlucky circumstance, because on any other given day, there would have been a liquidity draw. That was the biggest problem, guys, today. The reason that I think I got stopped out of this trade is because the main liquidity draw, right, we grabbed all of the liquidity up here, and yes, we did get the long setup, but at the end of the day, our other liquidity that hadn't been taken out yet was this level down here, which is where we're going to right now at the time that I'm recording this at around 10:30. So we got our long setup right there. Pretty much just got stopped out in a couple candles. Now, guys, not mad at this at all. It was a super small loss, and since I'm trading between a 2 and 3 to 1 at 95% of these trades, it's 100%. It's at least a 2 to 1 every single time. There's not a single trade that I'll take this less than a 2 to 1, but I would say about all of my trades, about 50% of them are 2 to 1, 50% of them are 3 to 1. So, and the win rate from what I tested, about 6 weeks worth of testing, was pretty good. It was well over, I want to say it was over 65%, which is very good at trading a positive RR. So we did get stopped out there. One trade a day for me with this strat, one and done right there. Literally closed out my chart right there. Scrolled on TikTok for a little bit, popped in a fresh velo, and now here I am making this video. Now, what I will say is a short setup actually formed while I was in this trade, which would be a break of structure right here on the close of that candle shortly after sweeping all-time highs, which you could have taken a short of right there. Stop loss would have been 5 points right there. And so far, let me just exit out of this. That's running, right? Now, I think we just got unlucky because of what I said before. Number one, we are at all-time highs. If we weren't at all-time, I mean, I would have taken this trade regardless of if we were at all-time highs or not, but I think that it definitely would have helped if there was a level. Like, I think that if there was a stronger liquidity level up here that we wanted to come up and target, we would have been able to see a bigger move to the upside, right? Now, another setup you could have taken was a short right here. After that's a break of structure, 5-point SL, and then your TP would be 15 points. That would be a 3 to 1, and that actually got hit. But since we're just one and done, we took that L, and I'm not mad at it. And here, I'm gonna show you guys my back testing results real quick. Now, this isn't all of it. This is just what I was doing last night. I tested a couple weeks before this as well, but this is just what I did last night. And this was starting on December 8th, so this was about the last month of this strategy. Now, some of these are reversals off of liquidity areas, break and retests, and continuation setups off of liquidity areas, and some of them are opening range breakout strategy setups, which I'm not going to explain in this video. When I do get that set up, we'll explain it in the recap, but pretty much you can see week of December 8th, this strategy ended me up 1450. Now, guys, I'm on a 25K live account right now. So I'm only risking 6 micros per trade at a 5-point SL. That means that each loss is $150. So it's super, super small. But guys, my dubs are a minimum of $300 every time. And a lot of the times you can see that they're $400 or more. So full TP, which would be 15 points, is a $450 dub. If I have it a little smaller, like right here, how I did on Monday, just to target a opposing liquidity area or level, it's going to be slightly lower than that. So that week we would have ended up 1,500. About this week we would have ended up about 700. Week of December 23rd, that was Christmas, so there's only 3 trading days. We ended up just barely by 100. Week of December 29th, which was last week, we actually would have ended down just barely, so slightly down $90. And as I was testing this, guys, Monday and Tuesday, we actually would have ended up $360 on Monday and $300 on Tuesday. So it's kind of unfortunate. I didn't start trading. I didn't make my return to trading until today, which happened to be a loss. But yesterday and today, the way that I was testing this strat were actually dubs. And you know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys that right now. I'm going to clear off all these drawings just for the sake of that. So let's do it. So we're going to go back to yesterday, which was Tuesday. Once again, we're going to hop on the 15-minute time frame here. First thing I always mark out is the 8 a.m. 15-minute candle, or 8 to 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as RP says. But yeah, guys, definitely go check him out. He's super cool, dude. I don't know him personally, but Definitely seems like a super chill guy. So boom, we have our untested London high right here. Remember, I put my zone from the top of the wick to the body before the big move. Obviously, the big move was right here, so I put it right there. Then we also have an untested London low, so I go ahead and put my box right there. Next, I'm going to see liquidity draws for possible TP levels. I see we have a draw there, kind of a little bit of a draw there, but definitely the strongest one is going to be right there. This untested London low still from this day. Now we're going to go into the 1 minute time frame, and we're going to see what price wants to do at open. So where price wants to break out at open. Opening volume is obviously very bullish. Now, this is a perfect 8 a.m. order block, or sorry, getting all my shit mixed up. Opening range breakout setup. Now that this candle, our opening volume has shown bullish, and we are now above that 8 to 8:15 a.m. candle, which is this box right here. If we retest this midpoint, I will take a long setup as soon as we hit it. As soon as we hit it, I'll take a long setup. Right. Okay, boom. Our stop loss is going to be good. So right here. Oh, shit. Fuck. I keep accidentally doing that. So right here, at this point in time, what I would be looking for is either a sweep of this high, and then I see how we react off of this zone to play longs, or I take a long as soon as we retest this. So we're just chilling. We end up getting the retest right there. So we would fill right there. This setup would become invalid if price was to run all the way up here, but by then we'd already be looking for a setup around this area or possibly even up here. Let's get a 5-point SL going. And then what do I target, guys? The either opposing sides or a 15-point TP. I never want to have it bigger than 15 points just because that's how I tested it. So you could either have it here if you want to play it safe, which would be about a 2-to-1, or you could have it at 15 points. You can have it at 15 points in this case because there is another level. There is another draw above this London high. So even though this London high was still untested, you could put your TP there if you wanted to play it a little safer. But for me, how I would do it, since if this level wasn't above here, or if this level wasn't here, I would put it there. But since it is there, I'm going to put it up to 15 points. And let's see what happens. So that's our trade right there. We fill right there at about 9:41. So it only takes us 11 minutes to get our setup. And you can see we run straight to TP right there. So that actually could have been a $450 dub if you played it all the way up to there. So now that's the 8 a.m. That's the opening range breakout strat. It's insanely simple, and I do really like that setup. But now let's clear these strongs off again, and we'll go over to Monday so I can show you guys the W that we could have taken on Monday, which was Friday, Monday, 9. Okay. Once again, 15-minute time frame pre-market. And okay, the first thing we mark out is the 8 a.m. candle from the whole thing, the whole candle. Then we have this untested London low, and Asia high and London high haven't got, they did get tested already, so we're not going to mark those out. We have liquidity draw right there, liquidity draw right there. To the downside, we have a liquidity draw right there. Perfect. Now we're going to hop onto the 1 minute time frame, and we are going to see what price wants to do at open. Okay, price rips up, sweeps this high. Now we're either looking for shorts off of this area if price can break structure to the downside, or we're looking for a little bit of a retest and a pop above for a long continuation. Also, guys, what I'll do, I shouldn't have put this line there. What I'll do is mark these out like zones, right? I like to treat everything as a zone just because it helps me mentally with my entries. So boom, price is bullish at open. Now I'm either thinking one of two things. Okay, we just swept that significant level of liquidity. Now if we see a break of structure to the downside, I'll take shorts with a 5-point SL, and then we can target down to over all the way down here. But that looks like it would be over 15 points anyway, so we just end up targeting 15 points if that setup occurs. Or now what I'm looking for is a retest of this zone, and then so we close above. Now I'm looking for a retest and then confirmation above. I just need to make sure first that my SL is going to be 5 points. And I will always want my stop loss to be below 5 points, right? Or 5 points exactly. And I always want it to be below the zone, right? I don't want it to be in the zone. I want it to be below the zone. So what I'm going to look for here, let me just get that out of the way, is a retest of the zone. Don't get it there. All right, retesting the zone. Now I want to see us pop back up. But ideally, I would like to see us come a little lower just so that I can allow for my 5-point SL to be below the zone, right? So the highest entry that we could get would be right there. So we do end up coming back down a little bit. We still really haven't got any confirmation, though, that we're coming out of the zone. So we break above, close right there, retest. Beautiful candle right there. I would take my entry right off that candle if my SL could be below the zone. But since my SL is not below the zone there, I'm going to set my order for right here at 37.5. And let's see if we get filled on it. And not on that candle. Boom, we got filled on that candle right there. We're officially in the trade. Stop loss 5 points below the zone. And now, guys, this is a perfect time where I can show you we're going to target that other area of liquidity, which would be that high. That's basically my draw on price. So it's slightly under 15 points. We get filled right there. Everything checks off. Break to the upside. Retest. Close above. Got filled at our ideal spot. Let's ride. Nearly get stopped out there. Boom. TP hits right there. That's pretty much the setup, guys. Unfortunately, we did take a small L today, which was just, bad luck of the draw, but it's a setup that I would have taken 10 out of 10 times. Hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the channel and drop a like on this video. I'm going to be posting trade recaps every single day again. Not going to be streaming, but I've been banging out content. Make sure to follow me on TikTok and Instagram, which I'll leave links to in the description. As always, I love you guys so much, and genuinely, thank you for all of the recent support that I've got. It means the absolute world to me. Excuse me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shoot me a DM on Discord if you want to talk more about trading or talk more about the strategy. I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.